So do you ever wonder why you don't own anything anymore? You know, I feel like I've turned my music consumption into the same kind of consumption of scrolling social media. Like, I don't really remember anything that I've scrolled, but I go through a lot of it. And I really want to change that. I want it to be an incredibly personal thing. And I think that is connected to having less of it so that I'm focused on what I have. I feel like I've really devalued music. I switch from album to album in under a day because I have access to too much. I don't stick with one thing long enough to really get to know it. And by nature of that, now I know less music. You know, I guess there are some people out there who can really have restriction with all of the available music, but I'm not one of them. I don't want there to be so much that I never learn anything deeply. I think the most important thing to me is knowing the music I'm listening to deeply, so I actually grow as a musician. The second is they don't pay artists fairly. You know, I'm a really small artist. I have a couple true fans, and I love them to death. And I think that all small creators should just go to Bandcamp, or they should sell their music on CDs. It's harder, but I think people should get paid for this. And then the third reason why is I really want to feel like I own something. You know, when you own something, you take care of it. You are grateful for what you have. When I have a streaming service, I just feel like everything is just another album, and I'm not as tuned into it. When I buy something, any type of physical media, vinyl, CDs, I care about it. I spent money on this, you know, I trade my life and my time for money, and now I've converted that life and time into music. And so therefore I must care about this. I need to use it. I'm opting for CDs. I think CDs are probably the best bang for their buck too. You can build a large music collection with really high quality audio for cheap. So this week I went down to my local CD store and I just bought 5 CDs, stuff that they had. You know, I looked for some stuff that I was interested in listening to when I had streaming services, and they just didn't have it, so I had to go without, which was an interesting challenge. It shifted my tastes. So something I've learned in this process so far is that the kind of audio file you're listening to really matters. So I have a decent amount of music on Bandcamp, and a lot of it, if you listen through the app, is going to be an MP3 file. So to me, it seems that WAV and AIFF are the biggest files, but the problem with that is, you know, I obviously don't have that much storage on my phone. I'm opting for FLAC. You really will not be able to tell the difference in the audio. The great thing about FLAC is that it reads tags, so genre, artist, album cover, you know, these things that you would want in a normal music player. I just want to add here that the reason why I'm not going for WAV is because they're too large, and the reason why I'm not going for MP3s is that they're too low resolution, because if I'm going through the trouble of buying all my own music and putting it on my own devices, I might as well have the highest resolution that is convenient. Expect some album reviews. Definitely going to be listening to more music and talking about why I think it's cool. I really want to expand my attention span and make sure that I'm getting better. And I think this is one way to do it. You know, I'm definitely going to be pointing out things I think are cool, whether they're music theory related, production related. I'm excited to start learning again and restrict myself to really learning some material. So these are the records I got. First and foremost, the unique Thelonious Monk. Somebody I've never listened to on their own solo albums, but I've heard them a lot, especially some D'Angelo, Charlie Hunter, Bing Bing Bing. I'm really excited to check this out. I've seen some videos of them on YouTube, but now I own this music, so I'm going to have to memorize it. Branford Marsalis, Random Abstract. I've listened to this record before, but I haven't paid too much attention to it, so I opted for getting some Beethoven. This is Bernstein in Vienna. So this is Symphonies 4, 6, and 9. So Debussy and Ravel string quartets by the Emerson string quartets. This is the one I listened to on streaming. Quite liked it. So anyway, if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much. Go ahead and like and subscribe.